Hello everyone, my name is Eric and welcome to Spirit Talk. In today's video, I am going to be talking about something that affected my life for a long time, but eventually I was able to conquer it, and that is depression. When I was in elementary, I was relatively a happy kid. I would play basketball, I would hang out with friends, I would watch TV, watch cartoons, all of the normal, typical kid stuff. Then came middle school. Middle school is when everything started changing. Everybody started changing because of hormones, because of things they started liking, disliking, following the trends, see who had the best things, see who had the latest technology, all of that stuff. But with me, it didn't really happen because my family wasn't in a position where we could afford all of those things. So yes, I started falling behind on what everybody else had, and I did feel bad, or I did feel jealous, or subconsciously I was feeling angry, I guess you could say, because of all these things that I would see that everybody else had but I didn't have. I think that's what triggered my depression. It's not what sent me full down the road of depression, but I think it's where it all started. So because of that, I stopped hanging out with a lot of people because all they could talk about was just what they had, the latest CD, the latest music, the latest technology. Or if anybody had seen the latest episode of a TV show or the latest movie or whatever. And because I couldn't do all of those things, then I just started creating barriers between people and myself because I didn't have what they had, so I couldn't relate to what they were having or feeling. And that continued all throughout middle school. I did make friends and all of that, but I didn't talk to them that often, and we didn't hang out. We never hanged out after school, so we didn't develop a really good friendship. And then came high school. High school was a little bit better because I just submerged myself in school, and I would be in school by 5 in the morning because I had a bunch of extracurricular activities. So I was in school by 5 in the morning, and then I didn't get home until sometimes it was about 6, sometimes it was like 4:30 or 5. So I would probably spend about 12 hours at school. But even in that time, I felt alone. I felt like I couldn't talk about anything that I was going through. I felt like I didn't relate to a lot of people. Yes, I would talk and I would make friends and I would just have a quote unquote good time, but it wasn't really something that I was feeling. Yes, I made a lot of really good friends, but there was something missing. And at home, I really couldn't talk about what I was going through in school because at home we had a situation at home, so it didn't really allow me to talk a lot about the things that I was going through. My mom and my dad were having problems, and my mom would confide in me about everything that she was feeling. So when I would go home, I would have to be the pillar for my mom and my brothers. So I didn't get that luxury of talking about myself to my family because I was the one that they were always talking to me about everything that they were going through. And I didn't want to be selfish, or I didn't want to cause them any trouble, so I just listened and I never talked. And in school, it was the same thing. I never talked. I could never find anyone that I felt close enough or trustworthy enough for me to talk. Not because my friends were not really good friends, but it was just something that I felt that if I couldn't trust my family, or my family wasn't there for me, why should my friends be? You know, I know it's kind of stupid, especially because sometimes friends are better family than actual family. But I don't know, it's stupid, and it was just something that I thought. And that continued out throughout high school, and I started getting more depressed, and it just started changing. I started to get very angry. I was a very angry teenager. You couldn't look at me the wrong way without me exploding and me giving you the "if looks could kill." So anyways, the years passed, and I wasn't getting any better. I was getting more angry. I was angry at myself. I was angry at my family, angry at my brothers. I would still be the only one that they would talk to, but I started changing. I started being more aggressive. I started saying a lot more things. It was chaos. And now I realize that all of that was because I was in a depressive state. At the time, I didn't really know, or actually I did knew that I was depressed, but I didn't want to acknowledge it, because if I did, then it meant that I needed to talk to someone, and I felt like I didn't have that luxury because of what was going on at home and at school. I just didn't want to bother anybody, any of my friends with that. Even still to this day, I don't like talking to my friends about things that I might be going through, because I don't want to incommodate them, or I don't want them to feel obligated to listen to what I'm saying. I went like that all throughout my freshman, sophomore, and junior year. It wasn't until the ending of my junior year in high school that I started changing. It was because of spirituality that I was able to leave that depression state of my life. But it wasn't easy. One of the biggest things that helped me a lot was, I forgot in which book it said, but I read so many books, but eventually I don't even know if I'm just combining different books into one sentence or anything, but it worked for me. So if you're watching this video because you wanna find out how to get rid of depression, or how to how to come out of it, or how to better your life, then this is what helped me. Change is one of the biggest things that started to help me. And then I'm not talking about moving, I'm not talking about doing drastic changes. I'm talking about little things. I'm talking about wearing a new shirt. I'm talking about styling your hair differently. I'm talking about getting a different haircut. Small things that you can just do by every single day of life, even if you have no money, even if you have no means of anything. It's just little changes that you can do for yourself. That's one of the biggest things that helped me. I started just changing the way I dressed. I started changing the different things around my room. I started hanging up different posters. I started rearranging my room. Because I needed a change. So I started changing my bed. I started changing everything, and slowly I started changing different things. Even if it was just location, it was still a change, and it made me feel like there was something different in my life, something to look forward to. Something else that helped me a lot was saying affirmations right before I went to bed. Some of the affirmations that I would tell myself are: I am strong, I am extremely healthy, I love myself for who I am and those around me. And the last one that I would tell myself is, I am not alone. These were just 4 of the affirmations that I would just tell myself. I can't remember the other ones that I would tell myself, but these are affirmations that helped me, because whenever you hear yourself out loud, especially if you're in front of the mirror and you're saying statements of I am, they're very powerful and they impact your life, because it just drives you to a different state of mind, that you start listening to yourself. You don't have to listen to anybody else. You just have to listen to yourself. Just like that little voice inside your head is telling you that you can't do something, or that you can't achieve whatever it is your dream is or your goal is, because you might not be smart enough, or you're not be talented enough. That same voice that makes you want to give up on everything, it's the exact same voice that is going to help you get on with your life and move on to a different level that you're going to be able to live your life. So as long as you listen to that voice on the good side, not the bad side, you will be fine, because you are a very strong person, and everybody has a lot of energy and a lot of willpower to be able to conquer any obstacle in their lives. So for depression, if you feel like you're going through it, my advice would be talk to someone. And if you can't talk to someone, then talk to yourself in front of the mirror, because it does make a difference. Very important. Don't let anybody else tell you that the problems that you are going through are meaningless, because they're not. I know it feels like a never-ending battle already, but everything is going to be alright, because as long as you want to change, and as long as you want to be able to keep on living, the battle is never over. So don't minimize your problems. Don't compare yourself to what other people are going through. Remember your affirmations, and just start changing little things about your life. Because if you start doing those things, I can guarantee you that you are going to be able to move forward. And even if you think like you have a long way to go, it's okay. The first step is always the hardest. And before you know it, you're going to be at the finish line. And you're going to be able to just take a deep breath and say, I made it. I did it. I was able to conquer this. I did not fall. and I am going to live my life exactly how I want it to be. So that was my depression story, how I got through it, and just how I just am the person that I am now. There's a lot more to tell, but you can only do so much in these videos. I hope you liked the video, and remember to always follow your heart, listen to your head, and take a chance, because you never know what's going to happen next. Anyways, until next time, see you guys later.